Hello, lovely ladies. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about our framework, the framework that we used when finding each other, and the framework that you can use in finding your dream husband. So we'll start off strong, and it's pretty simple. We've talked about this in previous videos. You need to know yourself. You need to know yourself and your own values. This is going to allow you to feel a lot more comfortable in the dating for marriage process. If you don't know your values, if you don't know where you stand, if you don't know what you want from your marriage or from your future self, it's really hard to navigate the dating process. So you should know, I am this type of woman. I want this type of relationship. This is what it entails. You should be able to know that like the back of your hand. It's incredibly important. When I was looking for marriage, when I was looking for my husband, I made sure to really have my values set to a T and to know that nothing is going to move that. We do this by creating lists, journaling, knowing yourself, talking to God, having all of these different ways that you can connect to the divine and connect to that future version of you that is a wife, that is a mother, that is all of these different things, right? That you may want for yourself and that you deserve as well.
Yeah. If number one of the framework is knowing yourself, number two is knowing who you want to marry. So the starting point is knowing yourself, and then who out there do you think would fit yourself? Who is your dream husband? What qualities, what characteristics does he have? It's really important to know what you are basing your decision on marrying for, and not even marrying, but spending time with this person. Are you going on dates with this person? Are they even worth your time on getting on a phone call?
Yeah, exactly. We also offer a really great guide. And like I said, this is our framework. So we use this. And alhamdulillah, we found each other. Thank God. I'm so beyond grateful to have this man as my husband. And you can as well, right? Not this man, another man. But that we offer that as a framework for you. And you can find that in the description box below.
Yeah, and in that guide, you will find a love list, which can help you walk through all the things that you want in your husband. And then we also provide many very core questions to ask people that you're dating or talking to, so that you can get to the core of who they are, what they want, and if they're the right fit for you.
And this is, like I said, these are our questions. These are questions that we quite literally asked each other or asked other people that we were vetting before we met and ended up obviously getting married. So like I said, it's incredibly important that you have a set of questions that you go into the date with, or you just have in the back of your pocket, so that you're not just going with the flow, but you're actually dating with the intention of marriage. The third thing is filtering out the men that you're vetting and creating an intentional dating profile. So you don't want to just, again, going with the flow is not going to get you that dream husband, because it will just allow you to experience more and more dating for fun or not really having any end goal at that point. So you want to be able to be in spaces with men that actually exist that you would want to marry. Creating profiles that aren't just like, oh, we can go on a date every now and then, but not really talk about marriage. Again, if you know your values, that point 1 and point 2 are incredibly important here. If you know your values, if you know yourself, and you know the man that you want to end up with, then you can put your dating profile to match that, which is exactly what we want here.
And number 4 of the framework is that data collection phase, which we've talked about in a previous video, where you are kind of detached from the person who you are talking to and really observing, collecting that data on what he says and what he does and what he is going to do. It's really important that you really take heed of what this man is saying and what he does, because that will show you who he actually is over time. And you really got to give this some time. You can't just believe what he says in 1 week and then get married the next week. You have to make sure that you give him some consistency, or some time for him to actually show who he is. This is very, very important. And the more data that you can collect, the better.
Yeah, I think what's also important here is, you've mentioned before that someone can put up a front for 3 months, but they can't put up that same front for 6 months.
Right.
It's a lot harder to keep up that same thing before that person gets tired out or just can't continue with that process.
And if they are putting up a front for 6 months, 9 months, not only is that crazy, but step 5 of our framework actually kind of helps mitigate that risk by connecting with the people who are already in their lives. So their friends, their siblings, their parents, their extended family, the people they work with. By getting to know their environment and who they are situated with, you can get a better sense of who they are. And they can't lie to everybody unless, they're a sociopath.
Con artist.
Con artist. So by getting to know their social system and who they surround themselves with, you'll get clarity on whether or not they are who they say they are.
It's so funny because we just saw a movie on this last night. And in the movie, the guy is basically a con artist. And he's trying to get away with like murdering this person, this rich guy. He took his identity, and he's this like mysterious person. No one knows any of his connections, and no one knows who he is as a person, right? Because they don't know where he's coming from, his family, his friends, like nothing.
Yeah, the movie is The Talented Mr. Ripley, and nowhere in the movie did we get any sense of who his family was or who his friends were. He was alone in this dingy basement apartment, and he could just say whatever because even us as the viewers, we had no grounding in who he actually was, what his system was like.
Exactly. So that connects, because you don't want to be with someone that you have no idea what his relationship to his family, his friends, his siblings is like. You want to be able to know that person and know that he is a safe man, that he's a safe person that you can continue talking to and vetting. I learned a lot about Samer through his friendships and who he was connected with. That you're also able to see how he interacts with his friends as well, how they interact and what that relationship really entails, right? You learn a lot about someone through how they relate and react with other people in their lives. So that's a really important step. The 6th step is moving through the actual engagement and marriage process in a way that you feel comfortable and aligns with your culture and your family. So this is obviously dependent on each person. If that's relevant for you, if you don't really care what your culture says, then it's not really that important. But if you do, then you want to align with that. So not moving in before you guys get married or engaged, right? That could be one of them. It could be, there's tiers. Like we've talked about those tiers in previous videos, that you meet those tiers of dating and of marriage and of love before you give all of your energy to someone. You want to be able to move in a way that is aligned with your value system. Again, that 1 and 2 is really important. You know your values and you know what's aligned with them, and you also know what is not aligned with them.
Yeah. And this could also extend to certain events that are important to you or your family or culture, or certain timelines, how long, when do you put the ring on, all these types of things. Make sure that you are aligned with the person that you are choosing to get married with, and make sure that the people who are important to you are informed as well
and involved. Your friends should be involved, right? Your friends should meet this person, your family, all the people that are supposed to be meeting this man should be meeting that man. I think especially for women, if you have brothers, making sure your brothers meet the man, your cousins, your male cousins, your dad, just making sure that you have this whole like lineage, this whole backing of people behind you. Even if your culture doesn't make it a norm, you want it to be a part of your journey, your process. So that's essentially our six step framework for marriage and ensuring that you find your dream husband through intentional dating. Just a few reminders that I think are important. Just take the time to really learn yourself in the dating process. I know for me, when I was talking to men for marriage, vetting, even when I was talking to Sam or even before him, I learned a lot about myself in relation to men. A lot of my triggers around my dad would come up, around my family would come up, and I would notice them and I would feel activated, and I sometimes wouldn't know what to do with it. And so I went to God. I prayed about it. I journaled about it. I talked to friends that were level-headed. That's very important. I've talked about this in previous videos. Do not go to your dysregulated friends. They may be amazing women. They may have a lot to offer and say to you, but if you wouldn't switch positions with them in life, in mindset, in situation, then you might not be inclined to take advice from them. And so just be really cautious of that, ladies. It can be incredibly important to limit that consumption, whether it's through online or whether it's through certain friend groups. So be mindful of what you're taking in. Be grounded, right? Find yourself in grounded situations and make the space for yourself to be more grounded, especially in the dating process. When you show up dysregulated, he will know that, he will see that, and that will in turn make your dynamic more dysregulated. So you want to show up grounded so that you can make the decision that is best aligned for you and your future.
Yeah, and another thing I'd add is continue to do the things that you enjoy. Continue to do the things that you're interested in. Read the books that you want to read. Don't change yourself in the process of getting to know someone just because that they say they like something or that you want their validation. It might work for the first 6 months. It might work in the short term, but over a long period of time, if you continue to have to perform as someone you're not, it's going to tire you out. It's going to really change the dynamic of who you are to yourself in ways that are detrimental. So stay authentic, be unapologetic with who you are, and continue to do the things that you love to do.
Yeah, that bring you joy. A lot of things that I notice with the clients I work with, they put all their eggs in one basket, and they give up the things that bring them the most joy in their lives. Whether it's even just cooking a meal for themselves, or working out, or hanging out with their friends. Like, do not stop hanging out with your friends. Continue to do all the things that bring you joy, that bring you life. He's attracted to you because you do all those things, right? So if you stop doing them, you're dishonoring yourself, and you're not allowing yourself to be fully who you are. That's pretty much all we have. We offer, like I said, the love list and the non-negotiable list, as well as our list of questions that we spent a lot of time and energy in making. That's in the description box below. We also offer a one-on-one coaching. This could be with both of us together or just me. Please feel free to browse our website and look down below. Ask any questions that may come up. We have a box or feedback box for that as well in our website. So please feel free to ask any questions, comments, feedback. And yeah, we hope to see you soon in future videos. Anything else to add?
I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to comment with any questions or topics that you want us to cover in the future.
Thanks so much. Bye.